Geezy versus Mr. Football 88. Excited to break this one down. Mr. Football 88 comes into this, I believe, he has just been on a tear, makes live event after live event. He has a belt, I believe, as well. And he is going to be in the Falcons uniforms. Geezy going to be in the Rams uniforms and goes up top and hits this little seam streak first play. Real quick, I wanted to break down just general basics of what you're going to be seeing schematically from both of these guys. So as you can see here, Geezy is running the nickel single mug. You can tell that because of this positioning of the linebacker. And Mr. Football 88 is going to be in jets. Now, fun fact, Mr. Football 88, who normally is in a Falcons uniform in terms of how he plays MCS, really good friends, lab partners, BFFs, whatever you want to call it, with Wesley Gittens. Wesley, in my opinion, top 2-3 offensive player of all time, right? Really the one guy that I feel like, is just always right there, right? Offensively, defensively, scheme-wise. And so, anyways, bottom line is they're lab partners, and you're going to see that Wesley definitely has influenced 88. He's in Jets. Wesley is in Jets as well. I broke down some of Wesley's gameplay from the Gulag a couple of days ago, if you want to check that out on the channel. By the way, I'll be leaving links to both of these guys' sites and streams, all that stuff, in the description of this little breakdown here. And what I want to get into is just the Jets playbook a little bit. And what you're going to see is you're going to go from come out in short side bunch nasty. So you have a tight end, you have a receiver, and then you have a running back, side wide receiver here. And then you're going to audible into bunch tight end. Both receivers go this way. Running back goes here. Or you're going to flip into wide side bunch X nasty. Now, if you take a look at Geezy, who's in the Rams uniforms, he is in the nickel single mug. And really the first person we've seen in this event, first person in this tournament running the nickel single mug. And primarily going to be a send 4, right? Couple different ways. You can send the 4-man base rush. You can also send the Texas 4-man stunt. And then if he does send pressure, he'll send this linebacker from time to time to try to create a send 5 pressure. So for the most part, Geezy is going to play a bend but don't break, more of a coverage-based approach to his defensive strategy. And he's going to be primarily either in match coverage or zone coverage. He will mix in a lot of cover 4 match out of this, and he might even be in that in this play. Here you see the linebacker actually flips to the other side. I don't know why, but real quick, I want to hit on this. As you see there, really nice read. And it does look like he actually goes man here. It kind of looks like match, but I don't know what this dude is doing. I don't know if it's because of the bumping here for the streak. You see how the streak gets bumped? But I do believe this is cover 4 match. You see them kind of matching here. Anyway, because of that bumping, this outside quarter does not recognize his job to go guard him. And so it leaves that streak wide open over the top. 88 able to hit it. It's a great combo at a bunch tight end. If you're running around bunch tight end, that's a combo that you should be using. Slot fade streak and then a short corner or stem down corner with a backside Texas and drag from the tight end. Big game for Goat Geezy. This is, so like I said, 88 has been one of the most consistent MCS players over the last couple of years, just in terms of consistently making live events, consistently making Madden Bowl. Pretty much the consummate professional. Honestly, following a lot in Wesley's footsteps, if you think about it. Wesley, one of the most consistent players in the MCS scene over the last several years. That being said here, one of the things you're going to see, and he scampers out of there with Cam, Geezy comes into this game. This is his first live event. Geezy kind of with John Beast. It seems like they're really, really tight, good lab partners, good friends. And, that's kind of his influence, whereas 88 strongly influenced by Wesley. And he's going to run up there with the QB, gets up to the 4-yard line. First down, red zone situation here for 88. So really, one big dot, 2 scrambles, kind of been the nature of this and how this is going. It looks like 88 coming out in Y off close, F1 Y off close. Now he can sub out, he can audible out of that into bunch, as you see here. So he's got the stretch, he's got the threat of the stretch with the gadget player Moss. He's gonna just take that stretch. It's actually really cool. If you back this up, what he was doing with his substitutions here real quick is he was substituting. If you take a look at the package, he goes to the gadget at halfback package. That puts his wide receiver here. He has wide receiver here, wide receiver here. So he has 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and then he subs in a fullback at this position. So when he comes out, he's actually in the personnel grouping of a doubles, but he can run stretch. He has the threat of I form stretch. And so kind of hard to defend that. Nice little money play down there in the red zone, money little mini scheme that he does there. And now we're going to see Geezy on offense. Geezy more of an offensive player than a defense player. Geezy's going to play a crazy game. He honestly plays, I don't know if plays is the right word, but when you watch Geezy play, man, it's always just kind of a wild game normally. A back and forth battle, crazy plays always happen in games that he plays. And he is going to be in Jets playbook as well. And let me just stop real quick and think. So John Beast is in Jets. Henry's in Jets. Geezy's in Jets. 88's in Jets. Lambo's in Jets. Spammin, I don't think, is in Jets. I know Abrams not in Jets. And then, what's else? Astro is in Chiefs. So out of the 8 people that made this event, 5 of them are in Jets playbook. So that should tell you a little bit of something about Jets and how good of an offensive playbook it is right now in terms of this meta. 2nd down and 8 for Geezy, coming out short side bunch. Now this is the play that Geezy loves. This motion HB choice play. See if it shows play art here. Maybe, yep, gonna show it. So this is a combo he loves. It's basically these 2 routes, and then he kind of builds off them. It's a streak, and then it's like this little seam streak angle. What he basically does, I believe, is he stems this streak. I think he stems it down. He might stem it up, but I'm almost positive he stems it down. Anyway, bottom line is, what is this good for? Well, especially when paired with a corner out or something like that on the backside, it's really, really good against cover 3 specifically. Really, really good against cover 2. Going to kind of force you into playing some cover 4. Now, as far as the route that he puts around this combination, it could be a couple different things, right? You could get a drag and a corner. You could get a stem down post and a drag. So it kind of changes, but the core of it is really those 2 streaks on the left side. So that's one of his favorite plays. And as you see right here, cover 3. So you see this guy goes out. This guy has to defend the streak. And if 88 doesn't switch stick it, this play is open. As you see there, he hits it first play and, does a really good job. Gets up to the 40. Now let's take a look back real quick to kind of see how this plays out. If you take a look here to the right side, it appears like this is a deep half defender. And so even the deep half defender, because of the corner route, it widens that deep half out. And there is this kind of just really sweet spot that you can hit in this little box here. And it just does a really good job. If you put the right routes around it, it's a really, really good play. And Geezy calls it a lot. I would say that, it's kind of interesting when you watch these players. Everybody has their favorite play, their go-to play, their money play. This is his motion HB choice. It's the play. If you're playing Geezy, you got to be able to stop this play. It's one of the main plays in his offense. Now here he's going to go to Y flat goal line, I believe. Quick corner to the left side. This corner route is, a really nice corner route. Again, this Y flat goal line. We'll take a look here at the combination. But effectively here you get a slant out or a short corner. You're going to get what appears to be streak and a slot fade and then a drag. Really just isolating this left side. And Geezy doing a really good job on his first possession, right? Making the game relatively easy for himself, going to some of his best plays early. Great way to get, an efficient first drive under your belt. Now, 88 in this double mug, and he is going to be kind of hovering with the weak side guy over the center. So what this does is this is a really interesting way to run double bug. I actually really like this. So what he can do is he can engage his user with the center and blitz these 3 guys, and then probably one of these 2 on the right side being on a contain, and then one of them being in coverage. When he engages his user like this, he will normally switch stick to, maybe a flat. He may switch stick to this side as well. Like he'll switch stick to somebody, okay? So essentially he's going to send 5. Now what's going to happen is if he does that, normally this guy will be in coming free. Now the pass protection that you'll see people sometimes employ is because he has 4 guys to the left and only 2 to the right. What they'll do is they'll full slide their line to the right. So they'll say, you go block left, you go block left, you go block, you go left, because normally this guy's in his zone. Situationally, what you can also do is you can zone these linebackers out and then just send 4 like this and all of a sudden this guy could come in free if you over bass protect. So we'll kind of see what this looks like for 88 as he is hovering here, and it looks like Geezy's blocking. But you see, he does blitz his user 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then notice he D-pad switches to that guy like I was saying, and then it's pretty much a cover 0 look off of sim 5, and he's going to do a good job of being able to just scramble out of the pocket. One of the best ways to counter the overload blitzes is to scramble away from it, because you can get a double team on that defensive end. 2nd and 5 for Geezy. Going to go to tight open. We saw John Beast run a lot of this. Geezy going to mix it in a little bit. Geezy going to run that speed option, and 88 does a good job of kind of using the speed option and just manually taking that away. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 2 on the 16-yard line. And he's got that corner route, running back streak, and gets an overthrow, rolling out of the pocket, trying to make a play. That brings up a 4th down and 2. Kind of a situation, right? Your first drive of the game, he does get him on a 4th down here in the red zone. A hard place to score. You know, the 16 is a really awkward down and distance. So we'll see what Geezy goes to, but I bet you he's going to go to one of his money plays, and he certainly is. Look what he's going to. He's going to motion halfback choice, his main play, his number 1 play, his power play, the play that he must make go, the play that he will make go, and the play that he will run again and again and again, right? That is what he is going to go to here. Motion HB choice, stemming that seam streak, and then he's going to flip into it like this. You get the streak on the left side. Take a look at what the rest of the routes are on the play, and you see exactly what I was saying. Streak, stem down, drag. He's going to leave the table route as a quick read, and then we'll see what the tight end's on, maybe a corner route. You see there's that streak, and you see there's that post. That post will beat main coverage. And you see he's going to push that post in there, and he gets a knockout early against that man coverage, right? 88 goes cover 0 in those 2 big situations, sends a lot of pressure there, and that's going to bring up a 1st down and 10 for 88. And this is where you put Geezy away, right? Someone that's brand new to the MCS stage. You're one of the most consistent players. Like, this is how this is supposed to go. Geezy, couple mistakes on the first drive, got himself on a 4th down, and now this is where 88 is supposed to end this game. If 88 gets a touchdown on this drive, very unlikely that Geezy's able to come back here, just because of the nature of everything that I just said. It's being that it's his first live event stage, and also it being that, 88 has been so consistent on this stage, and he's just done such a good job at developing as a player over the last couple of years, really since Madden 23 for sure, and I believe Madden 22 as well. But anyways, 3rd and inches, ball on the 25-yard line, right? Gotta get a good conversion here. Going to go to a real horizontal spacing combo. Those little wood turn routes, getting those little soft spots of the zone. Nice read. And he's going to be able to get a 1st down and 10 on the 33-yard line. Going to go to a stem down corner here. And on the left hand side, this is the play that he ran where he threw the big play to Moss. It's the stem down corner. You got a slot fade, a streak, and then you have this kind of backside high-low between the drag and the Texas. If Geezy's in match, this will be really good. And it looks like 88's going to check out of it, go to more of a basic combo. This combo right here is really good. I actually got to show you this. If you're a bunch tight end guy, this is a combo you need to be running. Watch what he does here. Corner route. Okay, so why is this combo really, really good? This combo is really, really good because what a lot of people like to do is cover to the tight end side, meaning you're going to get a deep half and you're going to get a cloud. So what this does is it isolates the flat defender, and the flat defender has to choose. Now, another thing that a lot of people like to do is they'll put this guy in like a hard flat, and they'll man this guy up on the tight end. If they do that, the tight end will win in man-to-man coverage and its capability to be able to beat that coverage. So anyway, just a very high-level route combo here from 88. He's got that high-low with that corner. Able to just check it down to the drag route or a little basic in route. Another thing about that combo is that in-breaking pattern, right? That in route, that drag route, that's going to do a good job against any kind of, cover 0 man coverage type of look. Just does a really good job of being able to get separation against that man coverage. Here you see him coming out in short side bunch, going to audible into wide side bunch X nasty now, and he is going to check into just a basic halfback inside zone here. The single mug's not the greatest run defense, but the inside zone flip is not the greatest run in the world either. And that should take us to the quarter. Gonna go to no huddle here and audible over to PA snag. Gonna have a little in route to the running back. Probably gonna put a little fade on the left side, but nope, he's just gonna take this to the end of the first quarter. And that's gonna get us into the second quarter here. Biggest thing in this matchup so far is, obviously he gets the stop early. Now he needs to capitalize again. This is where he puts the game away. To me, it's a put away drive early, right? If you go up 2 scores, it's hard for someone first live event, right? Going to go to mesh, short underneath route. It's going to just scramble out of there with Cam Newton and actually just breaks a massive, massive scramble. What's really interesting here is, this is another little weakness of the single mug, as you see here, right? These guys take wide angles. Geezy runs shaded down yellows here, so the 2 yellows are going to stay wide. And so as you see here, that leaves us just void for him to be able to scramble up the middle with Cam Newton, able to get out of there, able to get a ton of yards. And he's in scoring position, right? Automatically has a 2-possession lead if he wants it. If he wants to take 3, he will have that 2-possession lead. 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line here. And he is going to come out in that I-form Y-off close. So again, this is going to give him that run threat. Now, if you're 88, right, you're thinking this is a put-away drive. So he's really focusing in on this drive. He wants to get that 7, wants to be relatively methodical here. Going to run the ball. Good defense there from Geezy. Bad run play call from 88. That run, not very good. It's kind of one of those runs where it's either great or it's terrible. And it puts him in a negative down in distance, 2nd and 13. He's going to go to the tight end slot package out of the bunch X nasty. Does a good job against any kind of cover 0 alignment. See what that does if he actually keeps the tight end here. As you see, tight end slot package, motion Y corner under. And he is going to have this deep corner on the tight end. We'll see what the rest of the combo looks like. Pretty standard, right? Streak as a clear out. He has this little swing route as kind of a pull route for this little return route on that little box right there. And then he's got the post and the deep corner route. So a high-low over the middle of the field, right? A little rollout play, gets out of the pocket with Cam Newton. And had the playmaker late, but good pressure from Geezy. Going to force him into a 3rd and long situation. And this is where you don't want to be, right? This is where you don't want to be. You don't want to be 3rd and long. That first down run, killed this drive, really not getting a good run play. And then right there, not having a whole lot, Geezy playing good defense. Going to bring up 3rd down and 12. You're going to see this is what I call a gotta have it play. Key play in this game. He's going to go to the bubble out of the RPO. This means probably 4 down territory. This is going to bring up a positive down and distance. Almost broke that tackle and got that 1st down. But now you're in a 4th and 5. And, Geezy gets him on a 4th down now, which is surprising. And we'll see what 88's able to do. Dial up. He's going to go to spacing switch. He's got the good table route. He's going to go to just a horizontal beam here. I want to actually break down the combo. This is a really, really good combo. You give this spacing switch route all this field to be able to work on the wide side. And then you have this little quick out, but you have this little return route. Going to have a lot of space here. This spacing switch going to pull all the flats to him. You're going to have that little return route right there. And then if you get 2 yellows underneath, this crosser is going to be able to be thrown kind of in this high area, essentially creating a couple high lows over the middle of the field. So, and we'll see here. He's actually going to motion this out. I hate this now. I hate this combo. Hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. This route, right, is really good from the running back position. I don't know that it's great from that position there. Hate this combination, and you're going to see a timeout. Now, I think, let's actually just take a look here. No, it is Geezy that goes to a timeout. I don't know if one of his adjustments got messed up or what. But this is a big down in this game, and we'll see what 88 decides to go. I did not like that 5 wide look. But you can go 5 wide just because this formation generally, and you see he's going to audible. He's going to flip once. Now he only has 1 audible left. He has no threat of flipping now. He goes to doubles flex close, motion dig under. Pretty good combo here. He's going to have that drag early. And you see Geezy switch stick it, has the running back, and nice read from Geezy, or nice read from 88 right there. Geezy, good job switch sticking the drag, but did leave that running back wide open over there on the right side of the field. And now, red zone opportunity for 88. This is where you finish this methodical drive, right? Shouldn't have been on that 4th down. We'll see if this inside zone, a little better run than the Bunch X Nasty inside zone. And as you'll see that result right there, great run vision, way to hit the offensive lineman, but good run stick there. Got him up to the 5-yard line. And now, you're thinking, right, like walk-in touchdown, this is it, right? Just a simple red zone situation. See what 88 can do. But if 88 goes up 14-0, that's a significant advantage in this ball game. And that's why, taking his time, being a little bit more methodical here. Going to check into this QB power out of the A slot formation. Let Cam Newton do his thing. And you're going to get a late timeout. That timeout was by 88 there in that situation. Now, again, really interesting there, why call the timeout? I believe it's because 88 knows how important it is to get 7 here. And he wants to have his best possible stuff. Also, he's late in the game. 2:18 left on the clock. And I believe Geezy does get ball at halftime. So Geezy going to blitz everybody. 88 has a walk-in touchdown here, and he chooses to go down. At least that's what it looks like to me. Looks like he kind of chooses to go down. If you actually back up this tape, you're going to see right here, right when he throws this. Watch this. So he throws it right here. Now right here, you one-cut this up. It's probably touchdown. He goes flat like this and allows him to drive on the tackle. It appears like he tried to get tackled. I don't know if he did or not. Maybe he didn't. Him getting tackled right there is an interesting decision, especially if it was intentional on his part. Again, I think in that situation, right, you've already gotten one stop on Geezy. He's a little shaky, first live event, a lot of stress on him. You go up 14-0, he's going to start to press. You're going to have a better chance of getting, stops and things like that. So if it's me there, I try to do everything I can to score a touchdown on this drive. Honestly, if you get 14-0, you get up 14, it is a game changer. But gets tackled there, and now he's going to be on the other side of the 2-minute warning. We'll see what he ends up going to. Clearly can't clock this out either. Geezy will get a 2-minute possession. But we got flat, in-route, slant, crosser, really standard, great red zone combo. It's going to hit Gibbs, and this is crazy. I don't know what he's doing here. He basically showboats, and what I think he's trying to do, and he fumbles, by the way, because he's showboating, but showboating and gets tackled. I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to showboat and then spin out. What they said on the broadcast is you can get like a speed burst spin sometimes when you do that. I don't know. Bottom line is really bad decision by 88. Whatever you want to say, like, and by the way, if we actually back up the tape here, right, the tape pretty much never always tells the full story. So if you take a look here, watch this play. So again, right, he throws this relatively instantly. This is a touchdown. This is a touchdown. I don't know why he throws this so fast. And he takes this. Like I said, I would think he's going to spin out because you see how it's kind of lighting up there. I don't know. But my gosh, golly, you at the face value of you showboated and you fumbled, not a great look, right, for 88. Not something you really, 88 preaches, don't beat yourself, don't beat yourself. And I don't know, it just seemed like that was an odd sequence, a couple plays. Didn't run the ball one time. Just gosh, just let's Geezy back in the game. The game's basically over. Just in terms of all of the things, right? But let's Geezy back in the game. Anyway, Geezy going to get on the ball. He's going to go to that motion HB choice. He's going to throw that fade up top, and he is going to throw a pick. Now, back to this real quick here. This is Geezy's favorite play. And what he's going to see here is he's going to see this guy kind of pinch inside like this. He has this corner route. This corner route will pull this defender, and this guy normally pulls this guy inside a step. And so he has a step on the safety. So you see here, look where the ball is thrown. He's trying to throw in that little split of the seam, get a little bit more mustard on it. But McCollum, with the high speed, able to get back there, able to make the interception, and a big play for 88. So, all's well that kind of ends well with 88, right? Made a big mistake in the red zone, got it back pretty much the next play. Motion HB choice, Geezy's favorite play, hadn't been all that great this game. I think he did get a touchdown or a big play first drive. But anyway, we'll see what 88's able to do here. look at the B stream, man. You know, my favorite people on the MCS broadcast are the B stream. You know why? Because I can actually watch the entire game. I really appreciate the B stream. All right, so you see Y flat going from 88, hits a nice corner route. To me, if you're 88, like you gotta put you put this game away right here. You go get 7 and you put this game away. You know, even though Geezy, especially now, you got 1 minute 17, plenty of time you know, not enough time really for Geezy to do a lot on the offensive side of the ball. You're going to put yourself in a good position here to take his timeouts, to clock this out. You get 7, you finish this ball game. You know, this is why you are one of the favorites to win this event. What does 88 do? Right? 3rd and 1, he goes to mesh, little bunch tight in, and you're going to do that scramble again out of there. What's interesting is 88 runs mesh a little bit differently than Henry. When Henry runs mesh, it's a post. When 88 runs mesh, it's a stemmed up in route. Got to be honest with you, I like 88's version a little bit better, but Henry's version might be a little bit better against man. And now he's coming out of that Y form close. Got to see a stretch here, right? You're playing single mug. Single mug is terrible run defense. And it was great run defense right there. All right, so that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 11. Bunch X nasty for my guy, 88. Going to go out short side. Going to probably flip into wide side. He's got that motion halfback seam play. See what he ends up doing here. Really just goes the street corner. Roll out play. Nothing doing. Going to have to scramble with Cam. Goes out of bounds there. You don't love to see that. But going to bring up a 3rd down and 1 here. To me, you know, I mean, quarterback power. These quarterback runs are so hard to stop. So I'm curious to see what he ends up ultimately doing. But I do think you see quarterback power here out of the A slot or base, inside zone, anything. You probably see a run here. This defense not super great against. I mean, you got to think that. Now he's bringing the safety down, trying to get aggressive against the run. Another timeout there from 88. Now there's no timeouts from either side. So 88, ideally, you keep this ball on the ground. You get the 1st down. You're able to take the whole clock with you. Going to halftime at minimum up 10-0, right? At minimum. Worst case scenario, you should be going into halftime up 10-0 here. We'll see what he ends up deciding to do. I love this call, the run, make Geezy stop it. He's in a defense, not great against the run. Goes to inside zone and picks up the 1st down. 1st down and goal on the 9. So now you're able to take all this clock. Now you have a lot of freedom and flexibility. And what I would personally do is he's going to snap this kind of no huddle style. And he fumbles again. And that time his guy falls on the ball. And now, I mean, this is a crazy sequence, but he fumbles there. Really don't see that a lot with the quarterback. Could mean some kind of wear and tear. I don't know for sure. But anywho, good defense from Geezy. A throwaway from 88. 7 seconds. To me, you take field goal and get out of there. You take that field goal. You know he's not going to be able to go down and score. But it looks like 88 wants to take one more end zone shot. Now, how much of this is because Geezy gets ball at half? I don't know. I still think even if Geezy gets ball at half, you have to take your 3 here and go up by 2 possessions because it keeps you in front of the game and it puts Geezy in a position, a more pressured position. By throwing that right there, which, by the way, it's a pick. And again, I think 88, you know, he high points it, I'm sure. I don't know. I mean, it's such a terrible read, I would think. Like, I mean, it's fine, but it's like, why do that? I mean, and he just picks it off, you know? And I just feel like this is all 88 making minimal mistakes. I really do. I feel like it's all 88 making minimal mistakes. Worst case scenario, you should be winning this game 10-0 going into half. You see his facial expression. Now, did he expect to throw a pick? No, he did not expect to throw a pick. Did he high point and free form in the back of the end zone? Yeah, I'm sure that he did. Normally, is that a pick? Probably not. But in this game, for whatever reason, it looks like a pretty routine pick animation. Then he throws right at a covered player. To me, you just kick your 3 and you get out of the half. Instead, now you go into halftime 7-0, and guess who gets the ball? I believe Goat Geezy will have the ball at half despite everything that happened in the first half, by the way. Everything that happened in the first half. I think 88 had the ball in Geezy's red zone, I want to say 3 or 4 times, and he only has 7 points. That's an insane stat. Insane stat going into half. All right, starting second half here. Geezy ended up taking a touchback. And we'll see what he's able to do. He does get ball here. Spacing switch. Got a crosser over the middle field. Good read. And, you know, kind of a fresh start from Geezy, right? Geezy wasn't really looking great. You know, the interception and then, you know, the amount of times 88 had the ball in the red zone. But halftime, right? There's a little bit of a pause there, a little bit of a chance to reset. We'll see what he is doing, what Geezy's doing here out of the half. And scramble and a throwaway there. That's going to bring up a second down and 10. You know, a lot of these defense, a lot of what you're seeing 88 do defensively, I think is working well, is he's doing a decent job of keeping Geezy in the pocket with really just a basic rush. We'll see what he ends up doing defensively. Yeah, and there it is, just a send four. Good defense. And here, you know, Geezy goes up top, and take a look at what just happens here. So, you know, 88's there, but he's just a step behind. He kind of bumps a little bit, and he's going to get called for a PI. But ultimately, Geezy, you know, takes the top off the defense. 88 misclicks. Now you have a 7-7 ball game. Now you have a 7-7 ball game. All of a sudden, everything that happened in the first half, like I said, I think 88 had the ball in his red zone 3 or 4 times. Every single thing that happened in the first half basically negated. You have a 0-0 ball game. 88, here's your ball. And we'll see what you're able to do with it. So I thought, you know, if you really watch this tape, it's hard not to say that 88 didn't beat himself, right? And it's a player that prides himself on not beating himself, so just stop playing up to his standard at the end of the day. And guess what Geezy's running? Motion HB choice, right? We call this every play, it feels like. And he's going to throw the ball away here. Bring up a second down and 10. I personally am not a big fan of this play, but Geezy certainly is, and he's there, not me. Goes to PA snag here, and like this combo a lot. Streak slot fade, backside in. That running back in route really good at just getting some slippery separation. Surprised he only got 8 yards there. Thought he could have got a little bit more out of that, but wasn't able to kind of get that animation on the rat catch. Going to go to motion cross post, I believe. And kind of a unique combo, stemmed up curl, slot fade corner. Nice route, that stemmed up curl route. And 88 starting to move a little bit. Maybe he got a little bit of a reset at halftime too. Looking a little bit better so far. But I mean, 88 has walked up and down the field. He has not scored in the red zone. It's been those uncharacteristic red zone blunders that have really bit him. 2 fumbles, I think 2 interceptions, maybe. I know at least 1. And right here, by the way, it's an interesting little play. So this is a pretty common switch stick right on this corner. You see Geezy, he doesn't even switch stick it, but this guy just, I guess, matches late or whatever. It's a touchdown. And I mean, you're sitting here in the pocket. I mean, we're here for a while. And then all of a sudden late, the guy goes to him. So I get like late why you don't throw it, but definitely had that touchdown open for a little while. Second down and 10 on the 43-yard line. And we'll see here. It's interesting to me that Geezy's flipping with him. I don't feel like you really have to in single mug, but he's choosing to flip with him consistently. Love that combination. You talk about a good combo. That little drag return route with the backside streak, really, really good for just getting, really just getting stuff open. All right, so let's see here. A flip. And yeah, I love this play. Flats, returns. And the other thing too, nice overthrow. The other thing too is Geezy's sending 4 pretty much every play. So when you send 4 consistently, there are so many holes in the coverage. Whereas when you send 3, 2 every now and then, you're able to kind of plug those holes a little bit. But we'll see what ends up happening. Base 4 gets him on a 4th down. He's got a base. If he has 1 gap shoot, right? That's single mug right there for you. I mean, it's free. It's very much so free to run the ball in single mug this year. All right, we're going to get into, there's bunch tight end spacing, has that nice table route. Should be the corner route play. No, it's going to be smash return. Slant, wide open, missed it. Yeah, these are just bad. I mean, if we really slow this down. So, like, this is kind of the story of this game so far. Like, I mean, my goodness. It's like, who wants to win this game? Streak, stemmed up in route. It's a pretty standard combo. A lot of people run it. Your first read on the play, I mean, it might be the streak, but it's got to be pretty quickly this and this, right? I feel like those are the two faster reads. So he's probably looking here, but look, he's wide open. Wide open. And he kind of, I don't know, maybe he's looking for this. Maybe he's thinking he's going to switch stick. Maybe this complex. I don't know. But we just completely miss this guy. And we take a sack, and now it's a 2nd and 20. You know, just a big deal. I mean, this is not playing up to par, not playing up to standard at the end of the day. By 88 standards. I mean, you got to make that read in that situation, and just wasn't able to. And it goes to show, you know, one of the things I always take away from these games, it's like sometimes I watch myself play, and I'm like, man, I play terrible, and you know, just miss these things consistently. And then you watch some of the best players in the world play, players that literally just play Madden for a living. They don't even have to do content. And you're like, holy smokes, even they misread. So I'm not, you know, don't take it that way. I'm just saying, you know, it's interesting that someone of 88's caliber is missing things. And it just kind of highlights like he's just not playing. It's very uncharacteristic for him to miss those reads. So anyway, here we're going to go 4th and 4, get someone a big 4th down again. Going to go to that short yardage play. Love to see it. And good defense. Good defense. And 88 gets it inaccurate, throws another interception right in that red zone area again. And, you know, I mean, how much time in this game has he spent in scoring position on Geezy's side of the field? The majority of the game. Now, it is interesting to note that 88 kind of running the same defense as Wesley. Could be Wesley's defense, could be 88's defense, could be somebody else's defense entirely. I don't know. But they're running the double mug, their regular double mug out of the Houston Texans defensive playbook. Good read there to the running back. Going to be able to get the ball out of there and get upfield quick. Gonna have inside zone. Gonna just flip it out a bunch of X. Now, see, this run's not super good, but does do a good job there. Able to get out of there. And this is just an absolute dogfight. If you're Geezy, you're in your, and this is honestly how most of Geezy's games go, except they're normally like 58 to 7, like 58 to 56. You know, they're super high scoring. So they're always crazy, but normally they're super high scoring. This one really low scoring. Running back streak out of the backfield, good read. It's a great little thing to mix in out a bunch of X. I see so many people are worried about spacey switch. You mix in a running back seam streak. Oftentimes, that's going to be a great little counter. Going to go to spacing switch here. Have a streak on the right. Should be post and in route. Little return route, post and return route. Playmakers return, good scramble. Taking that free yardage. And able to get upfield for about 12 yards and a first down. Should be the last play roughly of the fourth or of the third quarter. We go to Y flat goal line. And we're gonna get slot fade, a drag, and a streak, and 88 screamed. What happened here? So 88 sends 6. Running back did a great job of blocking. That's why you want to be sending pressure. He D-pad switched off, just sent 6 out of double mug and got great pressure out of it, even against the block running back. So 2nd down and 10. So again, by doing this here, he can, you know, trigger a lot of different pressure looks. Pretty standard combo here from Bunch. Good blitz from the outside edge there. There's that DN coming in free. That typically means, right, that Geezy is loading up his pass protection one way or the other, or it just means that sometimes double mug randomly just comes in like that. It's It's been like that for the last couple years in this defense, where sometimes these guys on the outside, they are so fast they could just fly off the edge. Here, good switch stick up top. Great read from Geezy, but he can't get his feet down. And that's going to bring up a 4th down and 6. Got to have it down for Geezy. At this point, you take a field goal. At this point, you take a field goal, right? To me. But he is going to go for it in this situation. Part of the thinking strategy here, going for it. Yeah, just kind of an interesting spot. You know, the 4th quarter, you only got about 5 minutes left in the ball game. He is going to go for it. He's going to go to a wheel route and a corner route on the right. Nothing doing there. Nothing doing. And he's going to throw a duck. And, you know, just going to force one over the middle. 88 just plays discipline, swats that down. And, I mean, this has been one of the sloppiest games ever. One of the absolute – and the fact that it's stayed sloppy all the way through the game has been crazy. Really sloppy quarterfinal, back and forth, just dogfight of who can score once they cross midfield. You know, that's basically the question. All right, so that's going to bring us into the 4th quarter. Kind of an interesting scenario for 88. You know, do you try to just, you know, definitely very interesting position, because you could realistically try to clock this out. It'd be really hard. And the way this game has been going, honestly, don't hate clocking out trying to get 3 here, right? And trying to make this last drive. That being said, you got to have more confidence. Like, it is hard to clock a full quarter, right? But not impossible. And the problem is, like, if 88 scores and then Geezy gets the ball, Geezy has an opportunity at last drive, kind of feels like whoever gets the ball last is going to win this game, right? It just kind of feels like it's going to be a field goal, or it's going to be like a, you know, it's going to be a tight finish here. So we'll see what ends up happening. But 88 starting to get back into form here, but really, yeah, goes out of bounds with Cam. Going to bring up a 2nd down and 9. Audible over into this double set. Going to run a little C route on the left side, it looks like. Nope. Going to check into trips. And again, just a lot of like audible around. Kind of an odd combination here. And there's that out route. Good switch. Good juke right there. Great juke, great scramble by 88. That juke is gnarly. Tell you what, if you want to see somebody scramble with the best of them, I think what Astro was able to do in this tournament, in this event, with the scrambling, was pretty impressive. All right, so you got a stem down seam streak. He's going to go to his version of motion HB choice. This is Geezy's favorite play. Now you're going to see 88 run it, pose high-low, good pressure from Geezy there. And it's going to get him into his 2nd and 13. All right, so if we take a look at this pressure, really it's just a matter of a shed and kind of a Texas four-man. Kind of, right? Does a nice job. 2nd down and 13. We'll see what 88 is able to do. So weird, because you keep thinking that's Goat Geezy is the tag, but I think it's goal line stand 7 or something. So anyway, motion cross post, streak, slot fade, corner route, high low, hits that flat, gets upfield, nice read, nice job, and gets himself into a good position. Now you bring up a 3rd and 5 situation. What do you do here? What do you call in this 3rd and 5 to be able to, you know, get this 1st down? Like I said, now the clock, I think, definitely starts to become an interesting factor. I don't think you ultimately can clock this because he does have the ball on the 33-yard line. There's just not enough 1st downs. But you do start to kind of think through that, you know. Yeah, you just start to think through like different types of scenarios for clocking. Drag route open. Let's run a streak route right into a drag route. And unfortunately for 88, that didn't bump him too bad. He was able to recover and actually get over there and make the play. Bunch X nasty. Ball on the 26-yard line. Curious to see what he ends up doing here. 3 minutes. 3 minutes left in the ball game. To me, I run the ball on first down just to kind of see how many yards I get. I would run this on first down, just the way this game's been going. Like I said, it's been such a sloppy game. Going to go to a pretty nice combo, though. I like this combo a lot in the situation. Just a good old consistent combo. And I love that right there. Take your flat, get a positive gain on first down, bring up a second and medium, but you still keep that clock going. And now Geezy, right, has to at least kind of start to think a little bit about the clock in this situation. All right, so 2nd down and 6 on the 21-yard line. And going to audible into bunch. Going to go to the play mesh here. And going to scramble out of there with Cam. He is really good at that little up the middle scramble with Cam. Now you see shoot clock on. He'll take this to the 2-minute warning. And now you're in really an interesting scenario, right? Like what would be perfect for 88 is if he could get like to a 2nd and 1, and then he could get to a first down without scoring and basically just prevent Geezy from touching the ball entirely. That being said, this is where he struggled the majority of the game. This is where he has not been able to get it done. And he's going to go to RPO alert bubble. You see Geezy very clearly. He's going to use her that. And so then you get this late in the clock timeout from 88. Interesting. I hate that timeout call. Just in the sense of like it's fourth quarter. But I understand the timeout call in the sense of you want to call your best plays. You know that if you get 7 on this drive, it puts you in the driver's seat. So anyway, good pressure from Geezy. And he sends a blitz. This is going to highlight the blitz out of single mug. Or no, he actually jumped in double mug. Never mind. He goes to double mug and just sends 6 out of that. And that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 10. If you're Geezy here, I think you drop everybody in coverage. 2nd down and 10 from the 15-yard line. 1 minute and 57 seconds left in this ball game. And we'll see what he ends up going to. Post, streak, slot, fade. Now late audible into bunch tight end. It's going to be short side bunch tight end. These late audibles scream kind of a little bit indecisive, but we'll see the flat. Good scramble out. Good contained by 24. Great play by 24 there. Able to blow up that scramble. And now you're in a spot, right? 3rd and 12. This is where you've struggled all game long. You've not been able to capitalize. You've not been able to score down here. And you get yourself into 3rd and 12. We'll see what he ends up going to. He's going to go to wide side bunch. You know, Henry's play is double streaks, double slants with a table. See what he does. Pretty standard combo here. Going to force feed it and going to high point it and going to overthrow it. Now you kind of got to take 3. You kind of have to take 3 in this situation. 4th and 12. You know, yeah, just basically have to take 3. And you're going to go up 10-7. You're going to trust your defense, right? This has been such a sloppy game. Kind of goes back to what I was saying, though, in that situation, right? Do you try to actually logically clock that down so that when you field goal, it's over? Is that a realistic thing to do in that situation? Even though, you know, 5 minutes, a lot of clock to take off. But the way this game's been going, last person with ball last, I could see winning this one, right? Just the way this game has played out, the way that it's gone, and some of the stops and just that and the other. So anyway, here, we'll see what Goat Geezy does, see if he cracks, see if he's able to dot up under the pressure. This is a standard Goat Geezy finish, right? High drama, a lot of crazy stuff out of the ordinary that happens when this man picks up the controller on the John. But just really interesting. And you're going to see there a quick dot, 126, 14 seconds. Run an inside zone. Why not? You know, why not run inside zone? Honestly, Goat Geezy realistically just needs to get into field goal range. He does need to get that field goal secured so that he's able to make sure he goes to overtime nonetheless here. But kind of an interesting inside zone call to me. Motion HB choice. And he hits that corner route, had that table, or had that running back streak, gets corner out, gets out of bounds, stop the clock. And now you're at about the 41. 88, been kind of interesting to watch him on defense here. And there is a great run shoot. And I'll tell you what, man, Geezy really wants for this inside zone to work, but unfortunately, I feel like it's not worked yet, really. Motion HB choice, post drag. Yeah, I just hate that. I really do hate that play. I, he runs it all the time and he's mastered it and he can make the read. I feel like I would throw so many interceptions when I run that play. Like I run that maybe once a game as a mix in. I don't really run that as a mainstay. And here's a big sack. And that's a big mistake, honestly, because now you got to take your second time out. It pushes you out of field goal range, pushes you in a really, really bad spot. Great job by 88, sending the user. I think Geezy untargeted his user, and he ends up just screaming at him. Getting great pressure. Second down and 19, 24 seconds left in this ball game. See what Geezy ends up going to here. And it does look like 88 comes out in like almost like a dime set. There's a drag. Jukes up the field. Timeout right there. No timeout? Yes, timeout. All right, so Geezy's called his final timeout. About 15 seconds left in the ball game. Third down and 7 from about the 28. Realistically, you kind of can't get tackled in bounds here. Right? I mean, and he's just going to trust it, and he's going to hit. He just scored on him. Motion HB choice for the win. He's ran it all game. He's ran it all game. This is a seed, bro. What? Why is this open? What is 88? What in the heck is this zone? This man just sits in the middle of the field and does nothing. You got to look at the actual coverage. I mean, my goodness. Right? What? He kind of like midpoints it. He's right there. He's using it. And man, he takes one step to the left and he gets thrown there. He's called motion HB choice all game long. We got to cover 4. He doesn't cover 4. And I don't even know if cover 4 stops it, but I feel like it'd give you a better shot. I mean, my gosh, he throws a dot. And what's crazy is 88's probably like gnarly mad that he doesn't intercept this. Geezy high point, free forms it, end zone shot, touchdown. You talk about a crazy finish. That is a ridiculous throw that Geezy makes. And that is why he's at the dance, boys. A great throw from Geezy. 10 seconds left. We'll see what 88's able to do for a Hail Mary situation. My gosh, I can't believe he completed that one. Like I said, I'll leave links to both these guys' stuff down below if you guys want to check out what they're doing. If you guys want any of my stuff, it's in our school community. It'll be in the description as well. $10, you get access to everything that we're doing in school. School.com/Cody Ballard. And let's take a look at what he's going to do for in a game scenario. He's going to go to spacing switch and kind of a standard combination. Really right there, just takes a quick flat, get a couple more yards, make this throw a little bit more reasonable. Now he's about midfield, right? Perfectly reasonable. Cam Newton can make this throw. This will be an end zone shot. Man up 3 deep. Geezy going to call a timeout, make sure he is perfectly set for what 88 wants to do. Love that timeout call right there in a game scenario, just being aware of the fact that you have those timeouts. And, obviously you're in a situation where, you need to call them if you're not in advantage because this is obviously to win the game. There's only one play left. So, and this either wins the game for somebody, right? Geezy wins or 88 wins on this throw. Stemming up these slot fades, gonna go crazy. We'll see what happens. We've got some super deep slot fades. We have a comeback route. I don't know what the comeback route's going to do for us. Maybe for the running back on the playmaker. Throw it up, and it is incomplete. Good defense from Geezy. Geezy moves on in a wild game. GG's, 88. Obviously, super frustrated with himself. Didn't play to his standard, and he's going to have to be better in the next tournament. Shout out to Giza. He moves on to the semifinals, and I believe he'll be facing a matchup with John Beast.